Alright, so Dre and I are here with my man Brian Lee White today from Finishing Move Inc. Brian, you have a very select set of skills. Can you tell us what they are?
That sounds like, what's that?
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson.
Yeah. Taken.
Yeah. 7 and 8.
Yeah. What are those skills?
Well, so today we're going to talk about making trailer music, specifically horror trailer music.
Excellent.
And we have a beautiful vocal that we recorded to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what we can do is just kind of go through the process.
I love it.
Talk about the track, talk about some elements in the track, and see if we can learn anything cool.
Alright, so I've written a contemporary nursery rhyme, because a lot of nursery rhymes are copyright protected, so we don't want that.
I don't want that.
Because we're pitching this. We're going to have Drea record it right now. What do you say, Drea? You ready?
If I must be, yes.
That was really confident.
Thank you.
Andrea, are you ready for your horror debut?
Of course I am. Close my eyes, count to 10, show me where you're hiding. I want to be your friend.
Alright, so now we have the vocal. What are we doing? What's next?
Okay, so we got a vocal. First things first, trailer music typically is formatted very specifically. It's not formatted like a traditional song where you'd have like an intro, verse, chorus, verse, bridge, that kind of thing. It's usually structured in 3 acts, maybe 4 sometimes, but usually 3. And that's just so that the editors kind of know where everything is. You have sort of the intro exposition. That's Act 1. Act 2 is where things kind of get started, kind of pick up the pace. Act 3 is the sort of like completely blown out, huge, like all the way to 11, massive outro. And then there's usually a little sort of tag coda at the end. And so most tracks are structured that way. We structured this track that way. Again, makes it really easier. So when the editors bring stuff in, they know exactly where to look for the different sections and energy levels and things like that.
Cool. Should we hear the whole thing first?
Yeah, let's just go ahead and play it through the track.
Close my eyes, count to 10, show me where you're hiding. I want to be your friend.
Delightful. That was
I love the laughter.
It's really relaxing.
Yeah, I know.
It was really hard to get you to do. I had to, that laughter. I took the smallest little sliver out of there to make that work.
The hardest part was getting Andrea to laugh.
Oh,
to
yeah,
have
I'm
an actual
sorry.
moment of joy in front of a microphone was probably the hardest part of this entire process. Brian,
Well,
would you agree?
maybe.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys could be a little funnier. At least Sean.
What I think I had to show you a picture of our Muppets to make you laugh.
Yeah.
Wasn't that it? Isn't it?
Yes, because it's kind of difficult, you know what I mean? It's
Well,
a
also
laugh
because
on command.
all right, here's the thing. No, well, I had to do it silently. Like I couldn't just tell some jokes and some punchlines because then those would bleed into the laugh track. So I had to. Anyways, we're getting off topic. So what do we have here?
We had an instrumental to start with, and I had all the stems. This is actually the mix session, so this started as an instrumental, and I thought it'd be really cool to add some vocals to this and kind of give it that extra special sauce over the top. So I had this session already pretty much done. The song was already flattened into stems, so these are sort of just group stems of the different elements. You can see they're kind of labeled here: signature sounds, high percussion. This is kind of how I organize stuff, because then we'll sort of print these out as group stems later, so that editors have access to those stems so they can cut stuff together. And so I think for the purpose of this video, we'll kind of get into what we're doing with the vocal specifically.
So what plugins are on each of these?
Yeah, I mean, so really going back to some old school stuff, we got auto-tune just to kind of clean it up. She doesn't need a lot. I've got it working really slow, and that just kind of gives it a little bit more consistency for this specific track. I didn't even need to go in and sort of do graphical stuff on it. And then love this guy. This is like an old plugin, but I still use this all the time. And what I generally do is I'll set it up for a recording session. Like I just need to get some quick sounds, some stuff in the cans. And I just love this Crystal Ordolage vocal plugin for that. And then what ends up happening is like a sound ends up developing from sort of the just recording process. And it's like, hey, this is actually like a pretty good starting point. I'm just going to leave that and I'm going to work from there. And that's usually what I do. I'll just like, here's my sound. I've already got some reverb in this. I've got some stereo effects and things like that. And then I'll just, I'll go, okay, well, let's process more. Definitely need to have a de-esser for this kind of stuff, just to kind of keep those S's from getting too harsh. I think that's sort of like one of the things people miss usually when they're working with vocals is they're too afraid to de-ess too much, and it's actually better to de-ess a little too much than too little, because it really gets harsh on the master when you start bringing out the air and stuff like that. And I have another delay, another oldie but a goodie, Echoboy. It's just doing some half note stuff, and it really just kind of blends into the back. And the reason that everything really just blends into the back is there's a reverb that's just on just the whole channel. Really like this reverb. That just gives it that really long tail.
Replika
that kinda,
XT.
Yeah. So here's without.
La la la.
So you can hear there's a delay, there's some reverb from the CLA Vox, but this just really washes it out.
La la la.
Gives it that really long tail that sort of just casts it way out. And then just a little bit of EQ, that's all. Just taking out a lot of mud from that. We recorded it with the SM7, and that's got a lot of proximity, so it just, especially in this like really thick track with a lot of bass elements, I'm pretty aggressively carving this stuff out. I'm not shy about that there. So that's kind of the exposition of the piece that we've got, and then kind of a cool trick, again going back to those laughs that we were talking about. Check this trick out. Let me play it. So
It's so creepy.
So bad.
what's going on there? This is a little snippet that I took out that we recorded, and I actually very speed pitched this up, so you can kind of see there's a rate change, and I've also pitched it up 5 semitones. So in addition to sort of making it play back faster, sort of like if you sped up your vinyl record, you'd get sort of a speed change, but you'd also get a pitch raised. I've also just raised the pitch up to make it kind of sound like a creepy child. So there's the original.
There's regular Andrea's laugh.
Yeah.
And so what you're hearing at the back end is just this sound flipped. And so you kind of get this cool effect of it's just really disturbing, and any kind of like ear candy stuff that's like kind of disturbing and distinct. And there's just a little automation going on there. That's another thing that like I think people don't often do or think about, is if you're gonna have really long decay and delay effects on things. Like this has a ton of reverb. This has the same reverb as that vocal we looked at before, and delay. And what I didn't want to happen is I didn't want that to cast over in the next section. So what you hear is it sort of cuts out immediately.
Okay.
All the delay and everything like that. Everything gets cut out so that the next section can come in.
Alright, cool.
And that just gives you, I mean, that's just a cleaner envelope between those. And that's one of the reasons why, you know, on a track like this where I'm just really kind of dialing in individual elements, that's why I'll just straight up put reverb and delays on tracks and not put them in a send-return relationship.
Okay.
Because if they were in a send-return relationship, then I'd also have to go automate the level on the return tracks that were
Easier just to do
getting
the track
thrown
itself.
into.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we have the track, but here's the thing. So how does this get onto a horror trailer?
How does it get into a horror trailer? So, well, typically, in this case, it's a library cue, so it's not being done for a specific campaign. I would say that you know, it's about 50-50. You know, when you have trailer music, you know, 50% of it would come from existing library cues that editors pull, or they pull pieces of. So you might hear like 4 or 5 tracks in one trailer, and just little individual snippets of those tracks. Yeah, I mean, it's a matter of we have partners, labels that do the sales side for us, so that they make sure that all of the editors at all of the houses have our cues, have our latest stuff, and you know, are engaging with it. And yeah, and then, you know, fingers crossed, what happens is you know, someone uses that, and then that moves on into the sort of the finished version, and they usually, you know, let us know like after the fact that something's been used, you know, kind of thing. But that's kind of the, you know, life cycle of the trailer cue.
So definitely keep your ears open for Andrea's laws.
And even the laughter.
And the laughter.
At a certain point, it's like it becomes like a percussive laugh track.
Oh yeah, we should show the other part of the laugh
Let's check it
track.
out.
Yeah, so the other neat thing in Act 3, sort of the big part, I didn't want to just keep doing the vocal there, because it's so thick and busy with percussion and things like that, but I still wanted to have a voice element to kind of tie it all together. And so I said, okay, well, maybe I'll take this laugh track and I will duplicate what the percussion is doing, the ticks. And so I kind of came up with this. And that just mirrors what these ticks are doing in it, and I just kind of let that rise into this really insane.
Oh no, it's the same laugh.
Now you're laughing. That's good. I wish
Yeah.
we could have recorded that.
Great.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
We have to
Andrea's,
have a time machine.
Andrea's
Yeah.
pitch-shifted laughter will be the soundtrack to my night terrors from here on out.
I
love
honestly
it.
think that's my favorite part because at first I didn't even realize it was the laugh track until like we broke it down and I was like, oh, because it really adds a lot.
That's why you brought in the best right there. Best laugh in the game.
Best
Best
laugher
laugh-
in the game.
And you're
you
the
know,
best.
The writing.
The best.
Sounds like something that could be old. Sounds like something that could be passed down.
Could be,
Close my
Generations
eyes.
to
count
generations.
to 10.
could be passed down.
You know? Wholesome yet creepy at the same time. It's my vibe. Wholesome but creepy.
Your vibe. I feel like it's not something you should be announcing, Sean.
People get the vibe by tuning in. Well, Brian, thank you for breaking it down for us.
Yeah, man, no problem.
Finishing Move also has a lot of cool video game music, so we'll link you to all of that because you're going to want to check it out. And let us know what else you would like to see Andrea's laughs featured in the comment section. So thanks a lot for watching.
Cheers.